Hey everyone, welcome to POPXP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the POPXP channel. Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here, Nile Scott with the POPXP, and joining me tonight is Mr. H.C. Knoll, and we are back with POPXP Paranormal. Howie, man, how are we doing?
We're doing good. It's another week.
Another week. And you know what? Yeah. I have to say, this bi-weekly show, it's tough for me, man. It's tough. I want to do it every week. I come up with ideas. I'm like, oh, Howie would love this. He would love this. We must do it. But I digress, and I just said, you know what, Niall? It's special. It's my special Howie time.
Yes. Every other week is the best pacing.
It is. So I have to ask, my friend, how has the past week been for you?
It's been good. We're just, trying to survive here. I'm trying to think of exciting things that have happened, but I feel like I've just been in this room. I've been working. Been drawing, which is great. It's great to be working, and I appreciate it. And so, I launched my first fan Dick Tracy comic, so I was very excited about that over at Dick Tracy Rogues Gallery on Instagram. My first plug of the night. That took 3 seconds.
And I have to say, amazing, my friend.
Oh, thank you. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and I was grateful because it was very scary to put it out, and I'm very happy that everybody liked it, and it's exciting because I really wanted to do more, and now I know that people want to read more, so that's good, and it's fun, and it gets me through, like I said, the day-to-day of life.
Yeah, no, but I have to say, as far as the Dick Tracy stuff you're doing, I mean, I think you're going places, my friend. I think you're going places because the artwork's phenomenal. What you're doing is great. You are catching attention, and if all goes as planned, we'll have our Dick Tracy 90th birthday episode with Mike Curtis and friends.
Good Lord. Can you imagine that?
That may be the launch pad. That may be the launch pad.
I'll wear the yellow trench coat if it happens.
There, and I'm going to wear my watch, my radio watch.
Yes.
Calling H.C. Knoll.
It gets me every time.
Right. But, I mean, it's a scary thing to happen, right? It's kind of scary to start going after something you're so passionate about. And tonight's guests, I mean, they find themselves in some scary encounters, maybe paranormal encounters, one may say.
Look at that wordplay.
So without further ado, Howie, let's introduce tonight's guests on POPXP Paranormal Encounters, India and Connor.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I like that intro.
He's good at them. I'm terrible at intros.
I love it.
Yeah. No, hey, thanks so much for coming on. I first found out about you guys probably a year and a half ago when Howie kindly did my first Halloween special. And we talked about doing some future shows, which took about a year and a half to start this series. But he always spoke very highly of you guys in your show and what you guys do. And that's how, we became friends on Facebook, Connor.
Yeah, that makes sense now. Thank you guys so much for having us on.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I would love to find out a little bit more about yourselves. And one thing I think would be great to kick off is, before we get into the amazing things that you're doing, how did all this get started? And we'll start with India. How did you even get started in the paranormal field of ghost hunting?
I have been interested in ghosts my whole life. Well, for as long as I can remember. And the thing that really, my first memory of ever being intrigued by a ghost story was when I was little. My mum told me about an experience that she had when she was about 12, and she went to this castle in Devon in the UK, and she saw a woman in a white dress floating. And there's a whole story behind it and a lot of weird coincidences that surround it. And ever since then, I was like, I want to see a ghost. And yeah, and then I just, I got into all the TV shows and would read a bunch of ghost stories in school. And just, one day I was in St. Augustine and I found a shop that sold spirit boxes. So I bought a spirit box, and then from there, I just didn't look back and been doing it ever since.
Nice. Connor.
Well, for me, as a kid, my family would always tell me like ghost stories, because my aunt and my great-grandparents actually lived in 2 haunted houses. And my aunt would always tell me stories about their experiences as a kid. And I myself lived in a haunted house and had something weird happen to me. And I've always had the interest into it. I watched all the shows, I just loved the paranormal. Something about it just always drew me in. And in high school, I went to Waverly Hills with some friends, and I had absolutely weird experiences. I talked to an actual person, like a ghost in person. It was really weird. And since then, I went off and did a few projects, and it led me to here with India right now.
Oh, very nice. Now, you mentioned something really interesting, that you actually had a one-on-one conversation with a ghost. Could you tell us a bit about that experience?
Yeah. So
this might scare Howie.
Yeah, we were supposed to do that scare gimmick at the end of the episode.
This is the appetizer.
Yeah, what the hell? You're supposed to. This was
your
our
order's not up yet, Howie. This is just the appetizer.
Mozzarella sticks you order. At
yeah. What the heck? Where's my appetizer? Oh, we brought them all at the same time.
Here we go, Mr. Howie.
Oh, well, great.
So in high school, my friends and I were really interested in the paranormal, especially myself. And somehow the conversation came into play that we wanted to actually go to some place over the summer and go somewhere spooky. So we found out about Waverly Hill Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky. And at the time, we weren't really ghost hunters or nothing like that. So we wanted to take a flashlight tour that they were offering. And we decided to take a flashlight tour, and I was already curious, as before this, I had some experiences. So like, I had out my phone to voice record some stuff, and my friends were all taking pictures, and we went to the 2nd floor of Waverly Hills Sanatorium. And this place is so dark. Like if you ever took a tour at Waverly Hills, like there's no windows. It's just, you hear everything around you. And we went onto this hallway, like I think they call it the shadow hallway or something like that, where supposedly you see shadows move across and stuff. Mm-hmm. And we were high school students, and I was pretty rowdy, and I talked a lot during the tour. We weren't supposed to. So the tour guide had a laser pointer and told me and some other guy to walk down the hallway, and pointed to the end of the hallway. I was like, oh my God, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I can't even see where this laser pointer's at, right? So I started walking down this hallway with this guy with this hat on. And it was just a normal guy. And I was just like, oh my God, this sucks, doesn't it? And he's like, yeah, it does. It's pretty creepy down here. And I'm walking with this guy. And somehow along my trip down the hallway, like I'm going down this hallway. I couldn't see the group anymore. And I somehow lose track of looking at this person. And I'm looking around. I'm like, oh my God, this is weird. And they're like, okay, stop. And I stop and I look around and I'm like, can't see anything. And I'm like, where did this guy go? And I walk back after they told us to come back. And I walk back and I'm like looking around because I'm confused. And I'm like, where did this guy go? Did he take off hiding? And I asked my friends, did you guys see this guy with this ball cap that I went down there with? He's gone. They're like, what are you talking about? You went down there by yourself. So it was just absolutely weird. It still gives me chills. Like I can't spoke and talk to a person. Like it was just like a normal person, solid. I couldn't see the dude's face. His hat blocked over his eyes. And yeah, it just is an unbelievable experience because people that would hear it would just not believe it. But I just talked to a ghost in person. It was really weird.
That's like a holy grail experience.
Yeah, that's
right
like starting at the top. India
so
was saying
like,
with the floating woman in white. I'm like, that's
so
peak.
I couldn't even process it. Like, I couldn't believe that I actually had this experience. And my friends didn't believe me because they saw me go down with nobody. But I wasn't on anything or drunk or nothing like that. So I know for sure I was talking to some guy because I heard his voice talk back to me. So it's just,
It's one of the most haunted locations on the planet. So.
Yeah.
If it's gonna happen, it's totally believable it would happen there.
But was he dressed like in modern clothes? Like, can you?
I couldn't really see. It was modern clothes for sure, but I couldn't really see what he was wearing because it was dark. But I knew he had ball cap on.
Doppelganger. That Waverly Hills is known for doppelgangers.
Oh no, thank you.
I hope it wasn't me.
No,
my boys.
Thank you.
That's incredible. That's awesome. Did you mention anything to? You were the tour guide, right? Did you mention anything to him or her?
I didn't, because I wasn't really. I didn't understand it if I was really experiencing it, or if my friends made me feel like I was kind of like not sane. I guess they think I was just making it up or something like that. So I just kind of like brushed it off, and I didn't really think anything of it because I just wasn't thinking about it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's incredible.
It was just a really crazy experience because I was just like, I can't believe I actually saw somebody like solid, and I spoke to somebody. Yeah. Wow. Where's your appetizer?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how's that appetizer taste?
You know what? It's kind of like chicken fingers.
Definitely came in hot, man.
Yeah, it's a full meal. I don't need dinner.
No, you don't.
I'm stuffed.
Really quick though, for Howie, India, and Connor, how did you all meet? How did you cross paths?
Well,
how did we meet Howie?
Yeah.
You saw my art, right?
Because my friend Richard had I can't speak, had a drawing done, and I thought, wow, that's awesome. That looks just like him. I want one of those. And I showed Connor, and he was like, wow, yeah, we should get that done. And so then I was like, hey, Howie, I want a drawing.
That was last summer, right?
He sent us the drawing while we were filming on a trip, and we were in the middle of doing something. And I told India, okay, India, stop what you're doing right now. Look at this. Like, I was blown away. I'm like, oh my God, this looks so much like us. Like, it's crazy how talented Mr. Howie is.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we have a, you can tell when you have a connection with somebody. So everything was, I was like, it's hitting on all cylinders. So it's going to be perfect. It's always a perfect working relationship where you know exactly what the person wants, and they're into what you're delivering. And I was doing a bunch of paranormal portraits in that summer. It was this past summer, right? Yeah. And I actually think I did that. Yeah. When I was in Pittsburgh visiting the in-laws, so I'd hide in the room, did it on the road. Thankfully we could travel. It was when we were just still in that initial lockdown, and we escaped to Pennsylvania, where they didn't have any problems there in their area at the time. And so that was a fun way to like draw paranormal portraits all summer. It was fun. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So the reason why we have you guys on the show is you guys have a show. You're doing your own stuff. You've got the YouTube channel. Your videos are on Tubi. They're on Amazon Prime. I mean, tell us a bit about Paranormal Encounters. How did this show come to be?
Well, before India, I filmed 7 original episodes with other people and various people. And it happened because of a documentary. And because of the documentary's somewhat success / what the attention was getting, I decided to shoot it into a series. Because I did this in 2012. It was before YouTubers were actually even a thing. And when I published a video, it kind of gained views really quickly. And I was actually surprised because it was meant to be pitched as a pilot to television. And then some stuff happened that fell out, and it never turned out to be the vision it was supposed to be. And it became a series in January of 2013, because the documentary was shot in November. It was actually released in November, of 2012. Became a series in 2013. I did 4 episodes with the friends that were originally in it. And then I stopped for a little bit and did a few more after that. And once that fell out, I stopped in 2016 to shoot a different project. I hired a few people to shoot a new show. We were doing it for a distribution company. We were trying to sell it to the Discovery Channel. And that sort of fell apart. And then India and I actually discovered each other. She knew I was doing some previous projects and had seen what I had done before. And we both loved the paranormal and both passionate about it. And we decided to revamp the show as just to shoot a one-off, whatever, at a place called the Octagon Mansion. And then we decided to continue the series. And then since then, we filmed about 14 episodes right now, almost 15. So it's just been a thing we've been doing together ever since.
Now, do you have a background in film?
I don't have a background in film. No, I'm self-taught. I've self-taught in editing and filming and everything else. So just over the years, I got more and more obsessed with it because I wanted to be better than what I did in my last project with. So I always felt if I did better than the last video, then I'm constantly growing. I was always constantly beating myself up trying to be better at my editing and my video editing because going to school for that stuff is just super expensive. And I just didn't want to, do that and come out of school and not have an actual job. I just figured I could accomplish it if I set my mind to it. And ever since then, I've just been trying to master what I do.
Yeah. Now you guys have your channel up on YouTube, which is great. I mean, you guys are almost to 31,000 subscribers, which is great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you have your episodes and other content on here. And I have to say, I mean, production wise, like it's right there. I mean, it's very professional. And watching your shows, I mean, it's like, you were airing on, a top network or something. So you definitely have really developed and honed your editing skills with your guys' episodes. And I mean, it really is great. It's great what you guys are doing. How often do you keep up with the channel? I mean, how is scheduling like for you guys for filming? It's
really like we live in an area where it's not really welcomed for the paranormal around here. So we try to find places that are nearby because the state that we live in, it's not really talked about. It's hard to find places. You can't really find places. So we try to find places that are more like a driving distance right now. And we try to find places that are not really well known or done just so we can help build that story of that place and help bring more people there. And not only that, but I like to go to places personally just because that haven't been done, just because there's not so much notoriety to it and there's not so many people that know about it. So the history is fresh to me and I'm not privy to anything that's already happened there. So like we don't really go on a schedule. We just try to find places, and that's the hardest part of our channel is just finding locations and trying to make it happen, I guess. Some places, we're nearby some really popular places, but they're just not able to be done for us right now.
Understood. So you currently have, you said 14 episodes?
14 episodes, yeah.
All right. And then now, are these also the same episodes that can be seen on Tubi or also on Amazon Prime?
Amazon Prime has a few of them. Some of the episodes that we have done, like we did the haunting at the Savannah Theater, that episode is not on Amazon Prime or Tubi. Tubi only has 5 episodes that they selected from us to be able to use. So it's like 5 of our more popular episodes that they put on there. They chose to do those. As far as Amazon is just the main one. Some of them that aren't on there is Return to a Haunted House and a haunted or Savannah Theater episode. Haunted Theater. It's hard to keep up all the names. I'm sorry.
Not a problem.
It's just a few episodes that aren't on there.
And if you have Prime, you can watch them right now. So if anybody has Prime, like me, you add them to your watch list and just start binging.
So I would say head over to Prime, check out the episodes there. And then also for the viewers out there, please check out the channel on YouTube. I mean, there's so much content on here. Like I said, I mean, the quality is great. I really like what you guys are doing with your episodes, how in depth you are, how you break everything down. So as the viewer, I'm fully immersed in what is going on, the history of the place, what the people are experiencing, and then how you guys are experiencing the investigation. Like I kind of felt like I was like in the investigation with you guys, which I liked. I kind of lost my own reality while watching your episodes. So definitely, guys, check that out. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think of the series in the comments below. I'll also have a link to their channel into the Amazon Prime. If you're not familiar with Amazon Prime, I'll also put that link into the description of the show. So if you can, head over to the comments section. Let us know what you think, and also check out the page. But let's get into some paranormal talk, right? Technical stuff's done, guys. Yeah. Technical stuff's done.
He's a techie. He loves technology.
Yes. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this meal, Howie. Appetizer's done. Let's talk.
I'm already so full. All
right. So let me ask you some questions, right? So there's certain things in the paranormal field. Some are like, that's not this and that. I would like to know your opinion on orbs. Orbs? Orbs. What is your opinion on orbs?
Like the one behind Nile's head.
Like the one behind me.
The giant one.
That's Orby.
I actually just wrote about this. I read an article about debunking common myths about the paranormal that's going to be in a book called The Feminine Macabre that's coming out next week. It's a journal compiled of different works from different female paranormal investigators, but also just into spooky stuff in general. So what I said in there was most of the time orbs are going to be dust, they're going to be bugs, they're going to be water, they're going to be a spider that's, you know, decided to spin his web right in front of the camera. I think maybe there's some strange light anomalies, but I think orbs for the most part are not paranormal.
You know, that's a good question you're asking me, because no one's ever asked me this question before. So, like,
Is that real? Is that real? You're so lucky. I always hear the orb thing. Like,
nobody has ever asked me this question.
This is great now.
I was sensing that.
I thought he was about to pull a Letterman and just with the most sarcastic dry wit, he was going to walk off on us.
Now, I have captured actually some really weird, and this is going to sound very strange when I say this. There are a few places I have gone to. I'm not going to say they're orbs or anything because they were not orbs, but there are weird things that have happened on camera that look like little worms that float through the air like a fish hook and fly off. I've caught those things on camera a few times. But orbs forever, like what she just said, I agree with what she was saying with that. However, there are a few things that look like orbs that are like that weird worm thing that goes in the air or whatever. I've seen it. Actually, somebody else capture that same thing before too. Actually, they're so rare to capture that I just don't even know what they really are, to be honest with you.
Those are fairies, right?
Orbs or what?
Yeah, they're just fairies. That's what I've heard.
What do you think about orbs, Howie? You think they're legit? Because I know, like, when I was watching Ghost Hunters, and then, you know, you had Ghost Adventures, and Ghost Adventures, everything wasn't, the orb was going here in its own path, and it just seemed to go in everything. And then Ghost Hunters kind of took that approach, like they weren't really too believable in the orb theory. I mean, what's your take on it?
It's mostly dust, like India said, because it would have to have a glow coming from if you can hear my pugs, I apologize. We're having an interesting day in the pug the pug world as pug parents. It is unless there's like an inner glow, you know, like it's a source of light rather than reflecting the light or in the camera. That's always what I've been told to look for. It's always done. One guy, I get tagged in videos, and that's why I thought it was funny. I didn't know if you're being sarcastic, because I get tagged in orb things a lot, and I don't know why. I'm not like an orb expert. And I said, and it was a black and white, you know, like Ring camera, you know, like inside, and he goes, "Look at this. I think it's demons." Like, seriously. And it's your vent. It's your air conditioning kicking on.
That's like every paranormal Facebook group is going to have somebody every day being like, I think this orb is what possessed my dog. You know, like,
explains
what's going on.
It's because you left the pepperoni package open.
Explains why the couch was ripped up by him now.
Oh man, it's just, it was so obviously dust, and then you're the party pooper for saying it. And I'm not a giant skeptic. I'm just trying to be level-headed, and I understand that you need to have a skeptic, but I'm, you know, when I'm going ghost hunting, I want to have a fun time and look for things and discover things that are unquestionable. But something it's like, man, that is dust. Your vent just kicked on, and you should get if I say one good thing that could help people, get your vents cleaned, seriously, because they can cause a fire in your house. And I didn't know that till I moved to Jersey. We never had to have our house. We lived in a condo. We didn't have to worry about that. But as a homeowner, have your vents cleaned. It's very important, because if you think you're seeing orbs, it's probably dust clogging up your filter or whatever. You know, it's like real life. That kind of real life danger is much more serious than you're worried that these are ghosts everywhere in your house. There should not be orbs like that floating around. You know?
Of course, you're going to see them in haunted, abandoned places for years, because there's nothing going on in the ventilation system right now. They're just collecting dust. You know what I mean?
I was on one of those haunted tours, and I think we were in Virginia, and it was so funny because I had just gotten to know everybody from Ghost Hunters, so I knew people, and I knew all the shows. Like, I religiously knew all the shows. This tour guide was so full of crap that he was like saying that he basically said Steve was thrown and broke his arm, which never happened. Like, that would be there would be no need for other shows at that point. If it's like the Conjuring movies, you know. And then he was saying some other stuff, and I'm like, and then everybody was taking pictures of the dust outside. I mean, we're in colonial, you know, Williamsburg. Like, of course, there's dust.
Dust and the mist from the
They're like,
fog.
look, yeah, they're like looking at look at this. We got ghosts, and I'm like, oh, I don't know.
I'll tell you though, for myself, and I asked because I never believed in orbs, and I always thought it was BS, right? Like, no, it's dust, it's water vapor, it's bugs, it's this and that. June 2010. Me and my now wife were dating, right? And
another story.
Stayed at one of my famous apartments, Howie. And no, but what was interesting is, well, she woke me up one night and she was like, "What is that light?" Okay, and this house was about 80 something years old. It was built in the 1920s. It was a multifamily. You know, it was in a downtown area of the city I lived in at the time, a big factory area. So a lot of the houses were multifamily because a lot of the workers lived there. But there was this like light, and I'm looking, and I wear glasses, obviously, as you can tell. So like it wasn't perfectly clear, but I'm like, looking, I'm like, it's gotta be the neighbor's light. And I look, and the neighbor's light's off. I'm like, it's gotta be the other neighbor's light. I look, and that, and then I'm like seeing all the doors closed, and they're literally come on, finger, right there. That ball of light was in our little hallway, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's nuts. And I didn't think much of it until the next night. Okay. I wake up with that sense that there's something in the room, and nothing ever happened until actually I started dating her. So maybe she brought it in. But anyways, I literally am laying in bed. I look down, and there is the orb. And what's crazy is it's a ball of light, but it doesn't emit light. It's just like a light source, and it's perfectly round, doesn't make any noise, doesn't do anything. And it was there, and I was like, oh no, go away. I'm getting goosebumps. Oh no, go away. So I take my body pillow and I throw it over my head. I'm like, come on, this isn't going on. So then I just literally lift up the pillow, and now that ball of light is like hovering over my feet, and it went away. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's an orb. And an orb is literally what it looks like. And I've never seen a full body apparition or anything like that, but that's the only thing I've physically witnessed paranormal wise in the ghost realm. And I have to say, it is literally just a ball of light, but it doesn't emit light. And after that, I was a believer in orbs.
You just reminded me of something I forgot about. When I was maybe 14, I went to Eastern State Penitentiary, and I was there in the daytime, and I was taking pictures looking into one of the cells, and I saw on my camera what looked like little tiny balls of light. And I looked into the cell, and I could see them with my eyes floating around. And it was only like a brief second, and it was too fast. I couldn't take a picture of them. But like I saw them on the camera and like in the cell. It was really weird.
And that's different than dust reflecting.
Correct.
Yeah. If you're physically seeing it,
I wouldn't be able to see it.
Yeah.
They're much larger than dust. Like, what I saw was literally, if you know the size of a softball, it was just I would say it was slightly larger than a softball. I can't. It's not really good to gauge on this camera here because people won't really understand. But picture a slightly larger than a softball is what I saw coming through. And I mean, I didn't feel scared or threatened or anything, but it was like something was there.
Strange.
It was incredible. It only happened those 2 instances. But actually, just to freak you out a little more, Howie, and then I'll move on. That first night we saw the light. Before that, it was probably like 9 o'clock. I think we were watching Glee, and
there's your problem. That's why it's happening.
Hey, my wife, she's a music teacher, theater, all that. She loves that stuff. Yeah. My girlfriend at the time, my wife, the love of my life.
It's her fault.
It's her fault. But anyway,
so she's that sitting on her, like you don't enjoy it.
She's I know I do like it. All right. So she's laying there, right? And I'm doing whatever on the other side of the room. And I had a roommate, my buddy Pete, and his bedroom was down right across from ours, and then the bathroom was in the middle, right? She's like, can you close his door? It's freaking me out. It's creeping me out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're such a baby. I was like, there's nothing there. What are you talking about? And I was like, all right, fine. And I'm like, kind of like making fun of her because I've just discovered how scared she actually is of like ghosts and things like that. I go to close the door, and it's like a football player hip checked the door. I ran, jumped, apologized to her. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what that was. And she's like, no. And she was going to leave. And I was like, don't leave. Then that night we saw the light. So that's that, Howie.
Wow, thanks. I appreciate it. And we're still just halfway through the episode. It's great.
So this was your salad now. Okay, you had your appetizer. Yes. This is your salad.
This is a full meal. I'm really getting too full.
You can tell Connor's hungry.
You're getting a 5.
Yeah. Yeah, he's living through this.
Dessert is at the end, my friend.
I don't think I'll have room.
You'll make room.
I'd be yelling for the check right now, honestly.
He's at the point where like he sees the waitress but can't get her attention.
No, he's not paying attention. They never come back around. That's been my experience. No. They don't come back around to check.
They see you waving, hey, I need check, and they just look at you and walk away.
No. I'm like, where are they? You can never find them when it's time to pay, which is really weird too.
I know, right?
You want to pay them. Like that was my experience. I want to pay you. Where are you? I'm trying to get this conversation as far away from the paranormal as possible. That's my job. That's what kind of show we're running.
I know it's a paranormal show that doesn't want to talk about the paranormal.
I think that's fun. I think that's exciting. It's kind of like, I don't know, The View. I try to make it more like The View.
There you go.
So without me.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Speaking of The View, I have to say,
look at his segue.
Out of all the investigations you've gone on, which one was the least satisfying? The one where it was just like, man, we didn't get a thing.
Well, we have one, but
with no comment.
You don't want to throw it under the bus.
Yeah.
I don't want to make some place sound bad because a lot of people will think, oh well, nothing. It's not haunted, but.
It's not that though. It could be just us too. We just didn't experience it.
Yeah, you can go somewhere for a week and have nothing happen, and then go there another time, and it be the most active place you've ever been.
Well, I just say the reasons why it helped us make it not our favorite was it was raining. We didn't feel good. We had no cell reception for the entirety that we were there because it lost signal an hour before we got there. And we had to use a porta potty.
That would do it. You just described why a concert sucks sometimes too. Yeah.
So it wasn't the place that
we filmed episodes that never made it because we didn't get anything.
Right.
Yeah, summer we made 2 big trips, and the last trip we only got one and 3 episodes in a weekend. So, but we show people still what we get. Just like you were saying earlier, we really appreciate what you said, but. We just we show it how it is, with the episodes. We get a lot, we don't get a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. People don't understand that when filming a show, you're not every location is going to hit like that, and they think, they just every episode is seen, and that's not true. It's not true on anything that's reality based. They're not going to see every location because nothing happens that night. It's just the way it is.
I actually feel like the paranormal is more active than it used to be too. I feel like it's more I trust some people with what they're showing, but I think the evidence is more out there now than it used to be. At least more harder, I think, to get.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because people are in? Yeah. Do you think people are more in tune because they're learning more? Like it's becoming more mainstream.
I think so, and I think it goes both ways too. I think there's so many people now that are into it now than it used to be. So I think there's so many different innovations, I guess, as far as how we do things, but also too, it's always in your face that there's always something out there that you can watch or see, with something like that. And I don't know. I feel like it's a little more popular than when it used to be, like as far as like the activity being shown, captured.
Well, you go from, let's say, it's like with anything, right? Like it's cool now to be considered a nerd or geek culture. And it's like, everyone's into it or some form because it was made so popular. And you had, Ghost Hunters launch and people were like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. And then you got people out of the woodwork that's like, I believe in this. I do this. And then, hunters are born and, people that want to thrill and seek are doing it. So now no one's ashamed. Which brings the hobby to life, and of course you're going to get people that are going to abuse the hobby and do whatever they can to try to make the name, and then you get other people that are really just going to show you what they find. And I think that's what's happened is people aren't ashamed of it anymore, or they're not ashamed of I guess you could call it a hobby, but in a way, but it's I don't know, what would you guys call it, being an investigator?
I guess it depends.
I call it a job for us because it is.
Yeah.
It is to an extent of what you actually do. Like if you just go to places or whatever just for the weekend with your buddies, and every once in a while as a get together, and then I guess maybe I don't want
That's like a hobby. Well, it's like a passion,
enthusiast thing.
Yeah.
They call
it's
it.
like a passion, but if you're doing it professionally like they are, it's a job. It's a job, It's like they're investigators, so it's and that's they're putting all their stuff out there. They're delivering and they're documenting everything. They're like documentarians.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. What you guys are doing, is you're filmmakers, documentaries, doing that stuff. But for those other people out there that are just, hitting the weekends, doing it, posting stuff up on their Facebook pages and their social media and stuff. Yeah. It's kind of like an enthusiast hobby type thing. Now, let me ask you though. So, I kind of asked, what was the least favorite thing you had? And, but I mean, what is your most memorable haunting you guys were at?
I think I know what hers are.
You go first.
She's on her thumbnails are everywhere. The traumatizing ones. Poor India.
Most memorable would be when we did an episode at Whispers Estate the first time we went, just because it was non-stop. It was like,
see, she can read my mind. I don't have to say
no
anything.
you just heard me say it 1,000 times.
No, I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you because of what happened at Whispers Estate. It is the most memorable because it's the most unlikely to ever happen, and then we got so lucky to have it happen, and that's why it's memorable. That's why what I was going to say.
And psychic.
Right, exactly.
It's mostly the psychic powers.
Well, for those that are viewing this, I mean, what were some of the instances that were just so memorable?
Well, the first thing that happened, we were in the parlor, and just to give you a brief rundown of the story behind Whispers Estate, there is a story, and I say it's a story because there's no documentation of it, but supposedly there was actually a doctor that lived there. His name was Dr. John. Supposedly he had an adopted daughter named Rachel who was about 12. And on Christmas Eve in 1912, she snuck downstairs to go look under the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree was lit with candles. She somehow knocked it onto herself and the room went up in flames and she was badly burned. There are actually burn marks that you can see in the parlor. And she was taken upstairs by her dad, and there's two stories that come out of it. One says that she passed from how bad her burns were a couple of days later. The other story says that Dr. John didn't want to have a daughter that was badly burned, so he gave her a lethal dose of morphine, and she passed away in the house. So we were in that room, the parlor where the Christmas tree fell, and we had our, what we call a portal. It's basically like a fancy spirit box. We had it running, and one of the clearest responses we've ever gotten, clearly a woman says, Rachel. And I was like, oh my God. Because you never get them that clear. And we had a camera set up on a tripod filming this, and Connor had another camera, so we had two angles. This
is my most hated moment of that night.
Yeah. So we finished the portal session. We went to go, we were going to go set up upstairs. We were talking in the kitchen, and Connor said, "Did you hear that?" And I said, "No, I didn't hear anything." The camera was still running on the tripod. So he goes back there and he finds that this camera had been plugged into the wall. So it did not lose any power. Something had turned the camera off, and when he turned it back on, it said data corrupted, media corrupted, or something.
Yeah, because when we were standing in the kitchen, we were talking, and I heard footsteps or something run across the wood floors in the parlor, because you can see the parlor from the kitchen. And I'm like, I turn around, I'm like, what the? I'm filming, and I'm like, what the heck? And then I hear a click. So
this is just nonstop scary story.
We checked the camera, and it was corrupted. It was recording our entire session of the Rachel thing that she was talking about, and the data was unrecoverable. I couldn't even recover the data.
We got it back, but it was like the audio was distorted. It was flickering. It was really weird.
Yeah.
So that was really strange. And then we
India went upstairs into Rachel's room by herself.
Oh yeah.
I went downstairs and I was playing around making videos on Instagram in the parlor. Next thing you know,
I said, Rachel, can you give me a sign that it's you that I've been communicating with? And I hear on the door, like not that loud, but like 3 knocks on the door. Mm-hmm. And I like about peed my pants.
That'd be doing it for me.
Yeah. I was like, did I just hear that? So, and then we had the REM pod was going off, and
here's the scariest part.
Yeah, the scariest part. You go ahead.
There's more, and that was the easy part.
There is a bathroom. Okay, they used to rent out rooms where people could live in this place, whatever, back then, right? Mm-hmm. And down the hallway from Rachel's room, if you go out her room to the left, and your right side, there's a bathroom which somebody was using back then in the summertime. He was getting in the shower and
I think it was in the 70s, right?
In the 70s. He was in the shower. He was getting on the shower, and no one else was in this house at the time. It was only this guy. I don't know if he was an older man or a younger guy. I can't remember. He got out of the shower, slipped, fell on the floor on his neck, and broke his neck and laid there until he died. No one found him for days.
What?
So Indy and I decided
this place has a horrible. I don't know. The Yelp reviews must be amazing.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I died. Now
there must have been, I guess, a rug on
2 stars.
Yeah. 2 stars slipped and died in the bathroom and laid there.
Oh my God.
I loved the breakfast though.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, Indy and I decided to try to do an EVP session in the room because we're notorious for never getting EVPs on our show. So we actually tried to do an EVP session, and we were only in there for a few minutes. And India somehow had the courage to lay in this bathtub while I'm filming her. And we're laying in there, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I start to hear something subtle, and then India hears it. And I'm like trying to figure it out because it stopped us. This is like 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Out of nowhere, we started hearing a girl screaming bloody murder in the middle of the night somewhere in the building. And we're like, okay, and it keeps going on.
Yeah, it wasn't just like like it was a and then it like would start again, and then it would stop, and then it would go again. And yeah, it was really weird.
You can really hear it. Like we have the raw audio file on our voice recorder still because of how crazy that was. But that is the weirdest, most memorable thing we have ever had on our show because we caught a girl screaming. A little girl is what it sounds like. You can hear the tone of the little girl, and a lot of our viewers think we actually captured the residual sound of Rachel getting caught in the night burning. Even though this wasn't on Christmas, we
listened to like every animal noise you can imagine, and nothing sounds the same.
Yeah, the trauma is probably there.
Yeah, maybe it's just residual in that same time. Yeah, right. So maybe same time or something. You know,
that's all in the season 3. That's season 3, right?
Yeah, that's on season
10. I think
10.
you have that also in like your top 10, right? You have a top 10 video or something?
Yeah, that's on our top 10. Yeah, that is definitely on our top 10. It's just because it is the most craziest thing we've captured.
A lot of people say that they can't hear it. And I don't know if it's just certain people cannot hear it. We can hear it. I know lots of people can. You might have to use earphones.
You should wear headphones for these kind of shows.
Yeah,
too. Really
but it definitely is there. You can hear it.
It makes your skin crawl just because we know the situation, how controlled it was when we were there. That it was 2 o'clock in the morning. We're in an actual city of a town. It's like all these houses around us. There was no one outside. There was no little girls investigating with us whatsoever. So it's just absolutely weird because that's something that you just don't go and capture. You know what I mean? So the house was just super active, and throughout that entire time we were there anyways, it always felt like we were being watched.
And then the second time we went a few weeks ago, back in January, we slept there. And we slept in what used to be the doctor's office.
You guys are insane.
Yeah. We were in
sleeping bags. I love you, but you're insane.
Yeah, we were in sleeping bags in the doctor's office. And Whistler's Estate, you cannot see anything when you turn the lights off because all the windows have been blacked out. So it's just, you can't see your hand in front of your face. So I was fast asleep. I don't know what time it was. And all of a sudden, I'm aware that I can't breathe. So I jolt up, like I've never ever felt this before. It was really weird. I jolt up and I'm like going around my sleeping bag, like what's going on? Like I didn't know where I was. I was gasping. I couldn't breathe. And then all of a sudden I felt like it let go. Like it didn't feel like I was being choked, but it felt like my airway was cut off. and then it felt all of a sudden like it was free, and I just was like, what just happened? Then we get home, and my mum has the same sort of experience where she can't move.
No, it just scared me. Your dog.
It scared me too. Yeah, when I saw
like,
you react, I was like, oh, it's the dog.
But my mom had the same sort of experience where she thought she had sleep paralysis. That happened to her twice. She couldn't move. She felt like something was pulling a blanket up over her face. Mm-hmm. And the weirdest part is we were given this documentary that was made on Whisper's Estate that we had never seen before. And we watched it like a week after we got home. And there's a woman in there talking about how she had an experience where she was asleep and she felt like she couldn't move and somebody was pulling a blanket up over her face. Like exactly what my mom described.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
And I've had night terrors before in that, you know, not the blanket though. Never had a blanket pulled over my face with night. You don't usually need that. Mm-hmm. You don't, you know, usually it's just, I've had the sleep paralysis. I'm staring and I saw something is on the ceiling. Mm-hmm. And it freaked me out, you know, and I was like, but I never, not the cover. I think the covers coming up should seal it. Not just being a night terror thing.
Usually you would just brush it off as sleep paralysis, but it's just the fact that what happened to me, and then my mom said that, and then we watched this documentary, and this woman is saying word for word what my mom said. It's just really weird.
Yeah, and it's and that place. It's at that place. You know, it's like the cover's moving up. That's so.
Oh my god, how horrible would that be?
That's supposed to help. The covers
and the covers are coming up. It's like what?
The covers are supposed to help you. That's supposed to be your safety. The covers are
supposed to protect you.
Everybody knows that the covers, the blank, stop the bedroom monster.
So you'll think twice next time now when you put the covers above you to hide from that.
Great. Yeah, you just ruined that. They just ruined that. Your safety net.
That was my body pillow. The body pillow is always safe.
Was the body pillow custom printed with a star from Glee? Like
yes,
like a full body.
Yes, it was.
Oh, you're a sad person.
And I can't name which one.
I can't name any actors, so I would.
But now let me ask you guys another question. With all your investigations that you've done and everything, have either of you ever been touched?
Yeah. At Jessica's house.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. On my older one, on an old original episode of the Paranormal Encounters I did get touched on the butt.
That's harassment. That's harassment.
Yeah, I know. Right? I got harassed by a ghost.
He's like, quit it.
Or
we did a series at this haunted house that's local to us, and it was when the camera was off. Of course, it was when the camera was off.
I just stopped recording.
Yeah, I had a coat on with a hood on the back, and I was standing in the dining room of this house. The owner was stood next to me. Connor and the other owner were right in front of me. There's nobody else in the house. All of a sudden, you don't have a hood on, but somebody grabs my hood and goes like that, and I that's the only time I've ever screamed doing this. And it was so loud that the owner threw a chair because he didn't know what was going on. But yeah, that was really bizarre.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I've been touched before, and I don't know if like for you guys when it's happened, like is it ever like very hard for your mind to process? Like I know for me, I was just like, I felt that, but that doesn't make like it took me like a good 10 minutes to realize like I was touched by something that's not actually here. And it was a big like mind effort, you know, like
because my brain was like, Connor just did that. Connor pulled a prank on me, but I was looking at Connor, he was in front of me, so he couldn't have done it.
Oh, I could have. I'm fast.
He's plastic man. He's got long arms.
I got those arms that just extend. You know?
I use them just for pranks. Not for helping people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want any part of that. Whenever we're ghost hunting and it gets to that part of investigating, Shelly's like, if somebody's here and willing to touch, I'm like, no, I'm leaving the room. I leave the room. I don't want to be touched. That's not me. I'll hear things. That's fine. You know, you can talk to me, but I don't want the touching.
You can talk.
I guess, huh?
Yeah. It just seems like the bridge too far for me. Like that's a step. that's extra step in my brain melting. You know,
stay out of your personal bubble.
Mm-hmm.
I can just imagine you like on a ghost hunt being like, hi spirits, like I'm here to talk to you, but like just don't show yourself, don't come near me,
don't touch me.
Don't touch me, don't.
I've got ground rules.
Don't
just
move
make
that
the
ball.
beepy thing go off and that's it, I'm done.
Yeah. Well, I like some ground rules is no touching. Don't try not to talk. Let me just sit here. You can bother the other people, and then we'll be on our way.
I guess you don't want to go to Whispers Estate then, because Whispers Estate, they say people get scratched there. So that's definitely touching.
See, I don't ever want to experience. I don't want to get scratched.
Me either.
You know, and why is it? It's never 5 fingers. You know, like it's never 5 fingernails.
The mark of the Trinity.
No, I guess maybe they just don't trim their nails when you're a ghost, you know?
Or do you not use your thumb?
Yeah.
You know?
Not to scratch somebody, would you?
Well, I guess actually, if you think about it, if you go to scratch someone, your thumb would be the least impactful. It's really these 3 fingers would leave the most marks.
They might just be a gremlin. How many fingers?
Let's do a study on this.
3.
All right, we'll get together and do a study on this.
Yeah, we'll scratch each other.
You walk,
figure
I'll
out.
try to reach out. Yeah,
let's
see if
do
I
that.
can get you.
We'll wear tank tops and spend a night doing this on a live stream.
I can just imagine already.
Oh, you really scratched me hard that time. Is it showing?
Give me another Dr. Pepper and let's try this again.
Oh, Dr. Pepper.
What did you just turn this into? Jeez.
I'm sorry. That's what I'm here for.
It's like
I'm so sorry. I'd like to apologize. I'd like to apologize to our guests who thought this
That's scarier than any scratching.
A classier get together.
I was waiting for you to say like wet tank tops or something. You know what I mean?
You've just brought it to a new level. I think when you get that private video area of YouTube going, there you go, Nile. Members only. This is kind of a legit. You can tell. Yeah. We wanted to take, we just talked about how well accepted everything was when the paranormal, and now it's getting more mainstream. We wanted to bring it right back.
Let's bring it to that.
We're going to bring it back to when we first discovered it. Everybody viewed us as freaks. Wet t-shirt, scratching contests for research purposes. Yeah, for scientific research.
Research in the paranormal.
Yeah. I mean, if it's only got 3 fingers, it's probably a demon. I'm just saying. And that's not cool.
Yeah.
Because people usually have 5. I mean, what, Yeah,
we don't mess with that. What are your guys' thoughts on demons?
Oh, no.
Well, you just opened a can of worms for us to talk about. So, I'll just kick in. I'm sure I'll get...
He looks like he's on Christmas here.
How long have you got?
He's got all this. Now that he discovered members only, he'll just keep recording.
We get the demon comment all the time. And it's... to be honest with you, is so annoying because not everything is a demon, because the likelihood of running into an actual demon is very, 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 very slim.
Is so slim it hasn't happened yet to us.
Yeah.
So demons are your orbs. That's your orb.
Yes.
With the orb questions, demons you get all the time.
Demons are not as likely as everybody thinks of us, because what to me is always on television, because when people talk about dark history and demonic stuff like that, I feel like they do that because it draws in the viewer as a filmmaker. It adds that fear and that danger, immediate danger for the people that they're watching, that they care about, and they have to watch it to see what's going to happen and how they're going to triumph through it. And I don't think demons are something that is as common as what everybody thinks they are, because television shows it all the time. And I think the majority of the stuff that we've experienced, yes, we've experienced some mean things in the paranormal, but we've never had anything demonic. You know what I mean? Like, people are grouchy in real life. People are grouchy when they're gone.
The fact of the matter is, if you put the word demon in the title of your video, you're going to pull in way more views than if you didn't use it. I don't believe demons exist. They could, but you watch a lot of paranormal television, and it makes people expect that every time we go somewhere, we're going to get savagely attacked, and we're going to get possessed, and demons are going to haunt us for the rest of our lives, and it's just not the case.
And I think too, a lot of people go into places that are so new in the paranormal don't know, because a lot of people start off because they're inspired, or they have somebody they look up to, and their shows that they look up to are now all about that stuff. So like they always take everything as it's demonic, or we're going into this demon place or something like that. But it's not, to me, it's not a cool thing to just throw around just because to me, if I was a ghost and I was in that place and people were saying I'm demonic, I'd find it insulting.
Yeah.
Personally, you know what I mean? Like, it's just about being mentally strong and having a strong psyche in a place, and not let your fear jump straight to like you're getting attacked by a demon or something like that. You know, it's just your fear that's taking place.
And that's like another level. If there's something demonic, you don't want to be around that. I've been at events where there was one room, and it's a famously haunted hotel. In one room, they were trying to conjure a demon, and I was like, "What is this? This place is like famous." Yeah. Oh my gosh! And I was like, there was whistling in a room when we're all in it, just whistling in the middle. That's great. Why do you want this? Why do you want like a demon? Like you don't. I don't understand. There was amazing things happening there, and it's still scary. It's a scary haunted hotel. I don't understand that need. I don't understand, because it's not if you would get that, you wouldn't want it. I mean,
because of the fear. People love to be drawn in.
Yeah.
People love that stuff.
That's next level. That's in
some
human
shows
voices.
do kind of promote kind of that excitement, because like everything's almost like they're going in for regular haunting, but it always kind of transforms into something demonic almost.
I actually heard about a show that was pitched, and they mentioned demons, and it was not. There's no demons at this location.
Yeah, like
that's some gossip for you.
When we were on the road filming a few months ago, because I do this all the time, I rarely watch paranormal television anymore. But I decided, hey, I'm in a hotel, got nothing else to do. Let's just see what's on. So I'm like watching all these paranormal shows, and everything's like, and then I saw a demon, and then a demon came into my house, and
right before the commercial.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I was like, is this serious? This is what paranormal television is? Because it never used to be that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think there's the movies, like Conjuring has a lot of, it's all, and that's specific cases that they came across. Mm-hmm. So that it's like every case is demonic, which isn't, in their case files, those were very specific ones.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. And so I think that's it now, since those movies were so popular.
It just makes it unauthentic if we're all going to talk about demons and everything else in places like that. It's like we go to places to do research and to explore, try to capture things so we can understand. Because we go to one place, we're not going to find the Holy Grail. We're probably never going to find the Holy Grail, in my opinion. But we are going to find similar experiences to something that we may try to do. So it's like when we go into places like that, we don't want to say it's demons or anything like that, because you're gonna make that a habit to go into places, and it's just not something you should do. I think
you'd have to, and a demonologist could tell you that. I mean, like I've honestly, got a chance to meet some, and they take it very seriously, and they don't want you just throwing it around like that.
Mm-hmm. Correct. I mean, they're not throwing it around like that. They're
very serious people.
They're very serious about it. Yeah, it's like they handle uranium. It's like, I handle this and it sounds cool, but you don't do that.
Yeah,
which is incredible. Now there's so many other aspects of paranormal, right? The whole paranormal field and stuff. I'd like to kind of switch things up a little bit, if you don't mind, and get your take on. I mean, besides investigating ghosts and stuff, have you ever thought of looking into anything UFO related or alien related?
We actually just got this question not long ago. I have an interest in UFOs, but honestly, I'd probably be the worst UFO hunter ever, because I wouldn't even know where to start, because I wouldn't mind staring at the sky at night because I like looking at the stars, but I think I'd rather figure out a way how to like look for it or hunt it, I guess, so to speak, whatever you want to call it, on the ground. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's so many places that people say.
Go to space.
Yeah, I can just go in space.
Just go to Mars.
Yeah. I'm an astronaut.
So you tweet Elon. Elon Musk.
I did see today that in 2027 we're supposedly going to have a space hotel, so maybe I'll be one of the first ones up there.
Ooh. Oh my god! Yeah. Can you imagine that?
It'll
be like Whisper States on steroids.
Yeah, right.
That's it. But you could cross it over. Like, if there was a space hotel, like, are there ghosts in space?
Oh, I'm sure there's space ghosts.
Yeah, like alien ghosts.
Yeah, like alien. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe aliens are ghosts.
Maybe. Or other dimensional beings.
Yeah, that's another dimensions, which is totally scientific.
All right, then let's.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I do think aliens exist 100%. I'm not quite sure that they're here yet, but I would love to do a show where we can dress up as Oh, sorry, I keep shaking the camera. But I would love to do a show where we could dress up as Mulder and Scully.
I'd love that. I'd watch that.
Yeah, do that. That'd be awesome. But then again, Mulder and Scully didn't just do like aliens though. They did like all freaking
freaks of the week.
Yeah, really. Like the dude that like came out of a toilet bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that one?
Yeah, Stretch or the Fluke Man?
I don't know.
Fluke Man, the guy that looked like a creature?
No. He looked like a normal guy, but then
That's
like
Stretch.
he come out of the toilet bowl. It was really weird.
Yes,
he was like season
Stretch.
1.
Yeah,
Stretch.
Yeah, he's creepy. Yeah, that's a great episode.
What about like Bigfoot? You know, cryptozoic creatures. Would you ever want to tap into that realm of investigating?
I would never want to be found by Bigfoot because he'd probably tear me in half. So
I think if Bigfoot existed, like wouldn't there be like, considering how big Bigfoot is, wouldn't there be something like, wouldn't scientists know about it? I don't know. I don't like the whole Bigfoot.
Oh, I've heard firsthand account. I got one sent to me in the early days of Paranormal, and it was like a firsthand, honest account that he saw a family of Bigfoots. It was crazy and detailed, and I was like, "Why would you lie?" And I showed it to a friend. I'm like, "It's just you wouldn't. It's not like. It's just so like. Oh, it's like seeing deer. It's like you describe you saw a deer,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
and they turned around, and it was a whole family of them. And I was like, my Lord. And nobody had a camera. Nobody ever has a camera.
yeah.
Right.
But you got to think, when you're trying to take a selfie, it's all shaky too. So you got to excuse those people.
And zoom on them sucks, so you can't really zoom far into it.
Oh, yeah.
That's
true. I tried to take pictures of deer and when I was in Pittsburgh last summer, and I was like, oh, that's why nobody can get a Bigfoot. I can't even get a deer.
Draw a deer instead of take a picture.
Just draw it. Yeah. You just draw. I just draw. And I heard a funny story about an artist who's like a real serious fine artist, and they're mostly known now. They are known best for a sketch they did of a creature they saw, and it's famous. It's all over online, and it's just a quick thumbnail thing he did, and he's so embarrassed because that's what comes up. It's the most famous, and that's just what happens sometimes. You know, it's because you're just trying to get out the idea quick. You're not trying to because you always look at these. If you Google any of those creatures, like the drawings are like, because they're just first-hand account, they're all weird.
Yeah.
And that guy was actually a fine artist, and he's all sad. Like he's embarrassed. He's like,
I feel like that's how it happens sometimes. Like if you type in paranormal on YouTube, one of the top videos that comes up is a thumbnail of my face, like just sobbing. It's like,
oh yes, that's on your page, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the worst face you would ever want out there. But that's one of the top videos on YouTube right now.
That's memeable. That's very memeable.
Yeah.
I would say that this stuff could exist. I just don't look into it or know enough about that. I mean, it's just like ghosts. Those people think the same way about ghosts too. Like, oh, we're into Bigfoot. You know what I mean? We're in the Bigfoot club. Do you believe in ghosts? I don't know. I've never seen a ghost.
Yeah, there's people that like, believe in aliens. Oh yeah, aliens, not ghosts.
Yeah.
like they're always dismissive of one or the other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I believe there's aliens, not ghosts.
Yeah.
That's me with like Bigfoot. It's like, yeah ghosts, not Bigfoot. But definitely aliens. And I also think there's other humans out there somewhere.
Oh, that's the worst. What a nightmare. There's more of us.
Oh no.
You know, that would suck. It's like Plan 9 from outer space. There's aliens, but they're us.
They're Plan B planet.
Yeah, and they think we're stupid. Your stupid minds.
Yeah.
They get I'd be so disappointed. Like, these UFO reports are now being legitimized, and what we found out last week, with the
whole Roswell incident and
what the hell? It's real. They just admit this. Like, I knew it was real, but they admitted the Roswell crash was real, and the metal that they found, they patented it. The U.S. government patented the special metal they found that day.
Mm-hmm.
That was always a thing that they said was a lie, and they had the cover up. Now they're just like, it's 2021. Why not?
They're releasing the full disclosure on it. Did they release it already? There's supposed to be a date. They're actually releasing like 900 something pages on it.
That's when they're coming.
That's a lot.
Like the past 2 years, I mean, especially with the pandemic going on too. I mean, if you want to talk UFOs and everything, well, we mentioned this in our past show. They're disclosing a lot of information and doing it at a time where it was like, people were so distracted though too, that it was like, you'd go through these main articles and then you'd see like, this report on the, top generals and stuff releasing information on things, and it's not like from like fake news sites. It's like on NBC, MSN, and like all the major news outlets are sharing these articles and talking about this stuff and releasing the video footages of things, and just like real Navy pilots and things like that. Like, yeah, I mean, a UFO came through, they told me to do this. They disclosed that they have technology from other worlds that we reverse engineered. Like, I mean,
what is that?
Like,
how is that admitted?
This is Independence Day 3.
It is. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and 2 was so terrible.
I feel like at this point, with all the stuff that's going on in the world, an alien could show up at the White House and everybody would be like,
yeah.
Okay,
whatever.
Hey, Glor, how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got bigger things to deal with.
Yeah.
We have coronavirus.
Can you come back in like 10 years? Now's not the best time.
Where's the vaccine? Where's the vaccine? I don't care about aliens. I want to go back to the movies and see a concert. This is how people are. Yeah. I would. Yeah. I'm like, oh, well, we'll go back with you if we can bring our dogs.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, before we wrap, for aspiring ghost hunters out there and paranormal investigators, for you guys, any equipment for beginners and or books they should maybe read to kind of educate themselves to be safe out there?
You want to answer that first?
I would honestly, my biggest piece of advice to people who are starting out is just make sure that when you're doing it to have your own experiences, and you're not trying to prove it to anyone, and you're not doing it just to, get your name out there or get views. Like, you have to do it because you enjoy it, because you're not going to enjoy it if you're doing it for other reasons. You have to, just make sure that if you experience something, don't let anybody else tell you that it's not real. Only you will have those experiences. You'll never be able to convince a skeptic, but you can convince yourself. And I found that with myself is when I started Paranormal Encounters, I was really, really skeptical, and now I'm a lot less skeptical.
I think like there's something I'm working on. I'll be talking about releasing soon, and in that I did talk about is basically, when you start off in the paranormal, don't feel like you have to go spend so much money on equipment. A lot of people will spend $3,000 recorders or a crazy amount of money, spirit boxes, or $300 light up things. They're just instant gratification tools. And when I first started off in the paranormal, like I said earlier in this conversation, I only used my phone voice recorder and a flashlight. You don't have anything special. And just stay with the basics. Don't feel like you're pressured to buy something very expensive, because it doesn't matter what piece of equipment you have. If a ghost wants to communicate with you, you're going to have an experience. It doesn't need equipment to communicate with you. You can hear audibly. You'll see something like I did. You don't even need equipment.
You usually find that things will happen when you're not trying to get it to happen. That's
exactly.
how it's annoying, but that's what happens.
Yes, just be passionate about what you want to do and never lose stray of why you started it in the first place. No matter what someone says, no matter what anybody says, just keep at it, and eventually someday you will experience it. It may take a year, it may take a week. Just keep at it, and eventually you have something that you want to experience that you can't explain.
Yeah, well said. And I actually, as you're talking about, using your voice recorder, I mean, you guys are using like the spirit box type, or the what do you call yours that you're doing the audio, the portal? How, I've personally never used one of those devices. But I mean, when you're going through like the different channels, it's going through so fast and scanning. How do you decipher, what is paranormal and what may be maybe a radio transmission of some kind, or is it even possible to get a radio transmission through?
Usually with radio, you'll hear like music, you can hear somebody singing, or you'll hear something like, and the weather tomorrow, like you'll hear like a sentence like that coming through. But the best way to know is if you get something that sounds like a direct response to your question. Or sometimes you'll get nothing for a long period, and then you'll get like the white noise will stop and you'll get a complete sentence, or you'll get a complete word, and it's really, really clear. And Like the weirdest one of the weirdest ones for us was we got a little girl's voice coming through that would not have been on the radio. It was, we've got whistles before as well that wouldn't have been on the radio. So it's, it can be difficult and it can take some practice, but the best way is just, if it sounds like it's directly answering your question, that's probably your best bet.
And some of it too, we don't hear it in person unless it's super clear. You know, like what I have found is when you record it from video, it sounds much different than you are actually experiencing it. So sometimes we don't hear some things until we watch it back over. And sometimes we hear things that are super clear. With the portal, we have the ability to to get rid of the white noise as much as we want. So we only hear words that come through. So it makes it much easier to hear it, especially with the reverb. The reverb that we have on the portal makes it so the responses last longer and they're more clear, so we can hear because it sweeps so fast depending on what we're doing.
Right. Now, have you ever had instances though where it's like the same voice that keeps responding, like you're having a conversation?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's what place was that we had? Didn't we have one? Whispers Estate. We did have a little girl's voice. We went in this room called the Oculus room on our last episode we just did. And I'm like, can you come find us? Because we think we're trying to communicate with Rachel again, because that's what our profound experience was last time. And you hear a little girl come through and say, okay. And then a few seconds later, you hear the same voice, but we couldn't tell what exactly it was saying. So we do hear the same voice come through. And in fact, they come through so quickly that it doesn't fully scan through all the radio stations at all. So it makes it a little bit more definitive because it has to sweep through the whole entire spectrum of the radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, because I've always wanted to use one. I never have. And, maybe when we go on our hunt, Howie, I'll get it.
You're going to get one. I can already tell. He's going to get one.
To use and more fun to use because it feels more credible, I guess, than a normal spirit box, because a lot of it just more static now. And a lot of people hate the static anyway. There's a better way to use a spirit box, but if we use it without headphones, it's the portal way of doing it.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Very cool. And Howie, do you have anything else for our guests tonight?
I just wanted to thank them for taking the time. I love them and they're great people. And I thought it was really great to hear your stories and even the incredibly horrific ones that you shared, which will ruin my sleep. I really needed to catch up, and now I won't be able to.
Did you tell him the dessert? You never told him the dessert?
Oh my gosh.
I was just about to get to that.
Do we still have time for that?
Yeah, we do.
We do.
Oh, okay.
This one's probably not that bad. I think we told you scary.
You told a really bad one. Yeah.
Okay.
You've told a couple of really bad ones already.
About how you felt after it and what you were feeling.
Okay.
I'll shut up.
All right. So we went to St. Albans Sanatorium. Sanatorium or sanitarium? Sanatorium.
Something like that.
Sanitarium?
And
crematorium.
No, I didn't mean that.
Sanitarium, I think.
Yeah. So
sounds good either way you say it.
Two mixed up. Sanitarium.
But either way, it sounds good. Yeah, you have a better
sanatorium. It's a sanatorium.
Yeah. So it was a place where there was a lot of mentally ill people treated there. They did electroshock therapy, hydrotherapy, and there's a lot of stories coming out of that place of demons and all that. But it was also a boys' school, and for the most part, it was this place where mentally ill people were treated, and they tried to do the best that they could at the time with what they had. It's so scary in that building. It is dark. It just has a feeling to it. Like if you were to go to a haunted place, this would be it.
And if you ever want to get some cardio, we highly recommend it.
You get lost in
there.
there.
Your Fitbit will go off the chart with how many footsteps you'll take.
Yeah. It's just hallways and stairs, and you get lost so easy. We got lost. So we're up in what was the women's wing, and there is a bedroom that has a bathroom attached to it at the end of the women's wing, and the bathroom is called the suicide bathroom. So Rebecca was a patient at St. Albans, and she had a stillbirth and didn't tell the staff and kept the baby in a jar. And when the staff found the baby, they took it from her, and she committed suicide in the suicide bathroom. I think there's also been 3 other people that took their life in there. So we're doing an Estes method. Connor is out in the hallway, and I'm in Rebecca's room, and I'm looking at the suicide bathroom. I'm looking into it, but it's really dark, so I can't see much anyway.
This hallway's creepy.
Yeah,
by the way,
I can't see Connor. I can't hear Connor. I'm just listening to the spirit box in my earphones. Connor says, he says a few questions. Then he says, "Where are you right now?" And I immediately say, "I'm right in front of you." And he hears something as well. He hears something moving, and
coming at me
like,
in
"Where?"
the dark.
Like,
Coming at me
yeah,
in the
it's
dark.
like, "Where are you? Where are you?" And then I go silent, and then I can't remember if you ask anything else or not. But all of a sudden, I'm sitting there. There's an empty chair next to me. Out of the corner of my eye, I see somebody get up out of the chair, and I lied. I've screamed twice on investigations. That was the second time I screamed. That was
I died for a minute when she screamed.
Yeah, Connor fell to the floor.
Yeah, that would do it too.
He fell to the floor. He comes in and he's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I was like, "I've just seen somebody get up out of the chair. Like, I don't know what that was. It scared me so bad." So he's like, "Okay, well, let's go." Or I can't remember what you said. I really don't remember much of what he said at all. But I just all of a sudden like stopped talking.
Did you say that?
What?
Let's beat our feet.
Yeah. He
Come on, Scoob.
Let's burn rubber.
He's looking at me, and I'm sitting there, and like my face is like going like, and he's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm just burst into tears, and I'm like, "It's so sad. It's so sad." And Connor's like, "What's so sad?" It's because she lost the baby. It's so sad. Like, he's like, "What is going on?"
Just to be clear, she never freaking cries in investigation. So I was like, "What the hell is going on here? Why are you crying? Like, seriously, like you just screamed and gave me a heart attack. Why are you crying?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then so Connor's like, "Okay, India, like this is really weird. We have to go." And I was like, "Connor, we are not leaving. I'm not leaving this room." Like I was like, "This." Yeah, he was like, "What the heck?" He was like, "India, we have to get out of here." And I'm
not
like, "No, like she's nice. We're staying." And he's like, "What is going on?" So he takes me downstairs, and the owner's sister is downstairs in her office, and she sees me, and she's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I told her, and she's like, "That's a common occurrence in that room. Women will just start crying for no reason."
It's a select few people, though. Said. Not everybody just does it.
Yeah.
It's like some female bond.
Pardon?
Like a female bond to the experience.
Yeah, it was really weird. And
empathetic.
Did you just feel that energy?
Sorry.
What how did you know she was nice? How did you know like all of this that you were saying?
I don't know why I said that.
That's creepy. I would have been like, "You're on your own."
I could have been talking to Rebecca the whole time.
Yeah, you could have been.
Yeah. Are you Rebecca?
Oh no, I took Rebecca home.
But
she's watching different TV shows. Oh no.
He took me home. He got me home eventually. After that, I calmed down, but I was like, "I don't like it here. I don't want to be here. I want to leave. I don't want to be here." Mm-hmm. And then the next day, I'm sitting in the bathtub and I just start wailing. And Connor's like, "What is wrong with you now?" And I'm just like, "It's so sad. She lost the baby." This went on for like 3 days. It just was wailing in the bath.
She just wasn't herself. And it was just really strange because she started crying and then she sees something, you know what I mean? And then like I was hearing stuff for real. You could hear it on the video. I heard something move in the hallway, come towards me. I was getting ready to like just croak right there. I was just telling you what.
It was like the number one nightmare for like a woman, though. I would imagine losing your baby like that and have the way it went down.
Yeah,
there must be that a transference of that feeling is very easy to understand, and then also it's in something's going on in that room.
Well, like maybe
she's able to share her feelings. Yeah.
Well, like, look, I'm really nice, but I didn't know how to handle this situation. So
she's able to share her what she went through with you.
I'm not a bad person. This is what happened, and I kept it, like the baby in a jar.
If I was in a haunted place with a fellow comic creator, that would transfer to me that sadness of, "Oh, you pitched a book? Why'd you do that?" It's a similar. Before the comments get crazy on me, just
self-publish.
Publishing's like giving birth, I think. No offense. Oh no, you're gonna have to edit that. I see. I'm gonna get attacked.
They're gonna leave it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, you're gonna leave it in there.
And if we get 19 more likes,
oh no, yeah. If we get 20 likes, I'll tell a really creepy story about pitching a book.
It was one of the most emotional things to watch because it was something from a perspective of outside perspective, not witness.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just
Oh
saying,
no.
it's never happened since, and it's just really strange to see her act that way because she's like the Mrs. Tough woman in places.
The funniest comment though that we got about that, somebody said she's just doing that because she doesn't get enough attention from her boyfriend.
It's great to have a misogynistic comment.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Are you okay? Would you like to leave the room? Am I not saying enough for you?
Yeah.
He was eating chips in the hallway, not paying attention. That's why that happened.
Yeah.
What do you want? I love how people put their own perspective on things. You learn so much about people when they leave like comments like that. It's such a window into the soul of saying,
Makes you just so happy.
Yeah, you're like, oh, look at you.
I'm gonna send you my Christmas card.
Yeah. Well, people didn't used to be able to write down and for others to see. It's like a form of publishing. So now everybody can publish, and they think it's like some thoughts are like inside thoughts, and you don't need to share them. Like
But
you
they
did it
do.
all the time.
But they do.
Sit in there and do it.
Yeah, guys like to imagine why women are feeling the way they are, because we have no idea. So we like to put our theories out there because we're geniuses. Apparently, she's not getting enough attention. That's why she was in a haunted suicide bathroom.
Oh, you guys screamed like a woman when she screamed, so it kind of scared me pretty bad. They had security cameras going on in that room, so like throughout the building, they were actually facing the direction I was going and whatever. And I swear they probably put this on like the 10 funniest videos of 2019 and saw me drop to the ground screaming. Yeah,
I have a high pitched scream when I have to lock the bathroom when my wife's around because she got me like psycho in the shower once. I'm not proud of it.
That's horrible.
Dude, it's horrible. And she makes fun of it. She'll bring it up at parties, so I might as well announce it on the show. If I'm deep down terrified, it's embarrassing. I don't care. I'm terrified. It's gonna it's really loud. But like, yeah, you scream like a girl. I'm like, you are a girl. I don't care. I'm not ashamed. You terrified me. like she, and I go, now that's why we lock the doors. So there, enjoy that forever. So yeah, it's nothing wrong with screaming like that. I mean, there's not. What can you do? I'm not gonna go.
Girl. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh no, get out of here! I'm terrified.
How dare you?
Oh no, I'm scared.
Oh.
How do you think I can hit those high notes during karaoke? It's there.
There you go.
The ability is there, and it comes out when
I'll break your glass.
Yeah.
So where is the next hunt going to be? Are you allowed to disclose your next episode?
Not yet, but it will be the scariest place we have gone to this date.
We'll tell you when it's not recording.
Okay, good. We get the inside info, and you can get it too if you become a member.
But we do have a special guest on the next episode. It is 4 stories tall, and it's massive for us 3. So we are looking forward to it. I am probably going to try to be by myself on the floor. I'm going to try to, like I said, try.
This happens every time. We're always like, okay, we're all going to go solo. And then we get there and then we're like, maybe we shouldn't all go solo.
No, sounds like a bad idea to me.
It goes back to that fear because it's like you're in the dark. I mean, let's just face it. I don't want to get murdered by somebody in real life in a place that's in the middle of nowhere. That's the reason why.
Exactly.
Like I saw an actual ghost years ago, and I don't want to see. I mean, I do want to see it again, but I don't want to see it in the dark because I won't know if it's real or if it's, you know what I mean, like a human or non-human.
It'd just be a crackhead living there.
Exactly.
So you don't want a crackhead.
Like, hey, you got a Tootsie Pop?
Oh, it's a ghost. Is this are you a ghost or a crackhead?
Right.
It's tough. The crackheads are that's more you want to worry about like serial killers or something.
Well, that's why, you shouldn't just go, ghost hunting in abandoned locations and things because you really don't know who's in there.
No.
Because, squatters and stuff like that. You really have to care. Plus structural integrity.
Oh, yeah.
You really want to try to get into places that are managed, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Go in places that are managed by a staff and, they do keep up the building to keep it safe. but they, some of these places have just really been, you go there, you call, you sign up, and do what you have to do to go investigate.
I mean, it's closed for a reason.
Exactly.
If people aren't allowed in there, so don't go sneaking in, even though everybody wants to do it. It's just you could get tetanus.
That will fall through the floor in abandoned buildings. You don't want to do that.
Oh yeah, you'll become a ghost instead of seeing one.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, Indian. Yep. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you go to places that are managed, you actually help them restore the building too, if they purchase it for you to go and investigate. So that's a good thing. It's a positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of positives, before we go, you guys do a once a year, right? Once a year, you do a 24-hour charity stream, or is it twice?
Everybody here's the thing. Everybody says it's been once a year, but last year was the longest year in humanity, and we did 2 charity events last year.
Okay. And that's
2 years what we're trying to do.
And that's a really great thing that you guys. Another thing you do to help out is that's awesome. You're insane for doing that.
Well, explain the charity you do. What is it so others can participate?
Yeah.
We become sleep deprived for hours on end, and people watch us slowly decline.
If you want to see a real life zombie, come watch us for 24 to 48 hours.
Not 48.
Well, we did 48.
Yeah, the first time it was 24-hour live stream. We raised money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. We raised just over $5,000.
From our original $500 goal.
Yeah, we had $500 goal originally, and then in December, which you were a part of, Howie, a 36-hour live stream where we raised over $6,000 for the what was it? Project ALS. Yeah.
Yeah. My leg has still not recovered.
Yeah, and I was on there for what, 20 minutes? What was I on there for? How long was I?
You were on there for an hour.
You were on there for an hour.
I was on for an hour. I barely.
You were on for an hour. And
Yes,
I was starstruck, and I was like, because I was watching you draw, and I was like, my God, so this is how he does it. So I tried to do it, and I'm like, oh, I kind of not did it.
Yeah, but that's cool. Next time we'll do a draw along. That'd be fun.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we should do that next time. And I felt like a real champion an hour.
Happy streaks there.
I was like, I'm an hour in.
Yes, we do some little crazy things in it too to help raise money. Like, I'm willing to do bets that are not life-threatening. I shaved my leg for this event.
No, you waxed it.
Okay, fine. I waxed the leg. That was more painful.
That's even harder to do.
More painful. It was very, very painful. Yes, I waxed my leg to try to raise money for people. Like, if they put down so much money or whatever, we would wax my leg, or we were going to do some other ones and stuff like that. And it's just a healthy way to help bring back more positivity in a crap year that we all had last year. And as our platform grows, we want to use it for the good. And say, we get up there crazy high, we will always do charity events, because the more higher platform we go, the more people we can reach, the more money we can raise to help change somebody's life.
Yeah, when there's not a pandemic on, I want to do a charity masquerade ball and also paranormal investigation at the same time.
Heck yeah, I love that.
Well, that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
Niall's in. He'll bring his body pillow, and
I'll bring the finest. I'll bring the finest gown to the bowl.
We'll make it like Eyes Wide Shut.
Where are all the ghosts?
You two have to wear wet tank tops with scratch marks on yourself.
With a classy mask on.
Only for our members, though.
Yes, members only.
It's only for our members.
YouTube
for our
members
wet
only.
tank top scratches.
That's right. That's a private section of the party we'll make happen.
Yeah.
And remember, it's all in the name of science.
All in night vision too.
This is very serious. Yeah. Oh, and night vision. Everything looks better.
Can we wear the old school night vision goggles too while we're doing it?
Yes.
We wouldn't do it any other way.
One that go out.
Yeah.
Like a freaky game of tag.
The race stance one.
Right. Well, India Encounter, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, please take the time to head on over to YouTube, type in that search bar, Paranormal Encounters, click that subscribe button, click that bell so you get notifications when they're uploading new content, and also feel free to join the channel as well, so you can get the exclusive member stuff, which I thought I could watch, but I guess I'll have to.
You're gonna have to join.
I'm gonna have to join.
Put your credit card info in right now, live.
Yes. I'll do it right now. I'm even going to post my social security number so you know I'm real.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah. But again, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a blast talking to you guys. Look forward to some more episodes on your channel. And please, we hope to have you back again in the future to discuss some more topics of the paranormal. Howie, my friend.
Thanks for having us on.
It's been really fun, guys. Thank you so much for inviting us to be on here.
Thank you guys so much too, and we appreciate you coming on. And everyone, if you're enjoying these episodes of the POPXP Paranormal, make sure to click that subscribe button on our channel, as well as the bell to get notifications when we are going live and when we upload awesome new content. So everyone, have a great night. We will see you all on the next POPXP Paranormal. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on POPXP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the POPXP and over on Instagram at the POPXP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.